Welcome everyone to a brand new explainer. Today, we're taking a fascinating and honestly kind of eerie journey into one of the most captivating television franchises of the modern era, Life After People. You know, if you've ever walked down a quiet city street late at night and felt that sudden chill, just imagining what it would be like if you were literally the only one left, well, this is exactly the explainer for you. Okay, let's dive into this. Because this question right here is the ultimate apocalyptic thought experiment. It's a scenario that completely strips away our ego as a species. We spend so much time worrying about the history of humanity, but Life After People dares to ask what actually happens to the Earth when our story abruptly ends. This isn't the story of how we might vanish. It is the story of what will happen to the world we leave behind. That chilling opening narration from James Lurie perfectly sets the tone for everything we're about to explore today. The absolute brilliance of this source material is that it totally bypasses standard sci-fi tropes. No alien invasions, no zombie outbreaks. It literally doesn't matter where we went. What matters is the beautifully haunting, wildly unpredictable world we leave in our wake. Section 1. The Ultimate Thought Experiment. To really grasp how this franchise builds its predictions, we have to understand the ground rules. The premise relies entirely on a sudden human disappearance. We vanish instantly, but all our stuff just remains right where we left it. The show's experts, from scientists to structural engineers, base their predictions on real-world examples of abandoned places. Because without us here to pump the water, patch the concrete, or feed the animals, the clock immediately starts ticking on our unmaintained world. Section 2. The fall of our cities. That ticking clock leads us directly into our first major theme, which is the inevitable breakdown of our supposedly permanent structures. We tend to think of our greatest monuments and everyday conveniences as, permanent fixtures of the earth. But without us, they fall incredibly fast. Humidity and the elements quickly go to work. The Sistine Chapel crumbles, the Christ the Redeemer statue takes lightning strikes, supermarkets become immediate breeding grounds for vermin. Even impenetrable crypts, massive safes, and nuclear plants succumb to water and time. Our places of joy, like theme parks, just rust and shatter. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of how things decay, especially our food. We've all heard the joke that heavily preserved snack cakes are going to survive the apocalypse. And sure, they actually will survive for about 25 years thanks to artificial preservatives. But they're completely outclassed by simple jars of honey, which remain perfectly edible for thousands of years. It's just a brilliant contrast between modern synthetic food and natural longevity. But it's not just a quiet decay either. Our cities are essentially built on top of ticking time bombs. Without human supervision, dangerous materials leak out everywhere. A prime example from this series is New York City. Underground methane gas naturally originates from Grand Central Terminal, and it would eventually leak into the adjacent MetLife building. Without our ventilation systems running to clear it out, it just takes one single spark to ignite a massive explosion. And this decay doesn't even stop at Earth's atmosphere. Even our greatest cosmic achievements are wiped out. The Voyager space probes, our farthest-reaching ambassadors, won't last forever. Over thousands of years, they'll be battered and destroyed by impacts from space dust and debris, leaving almost no recognizable remnants of humanity anywhere in the universe. Section 3. When nature strikes back. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because as our steel and concrete structures fall, nature seizes the opportunity to rise right back up. And this brilliantly illustrates the bizarre new ecosystem that would emerge. Just think about our most pampered domesticated animals. The series predicts some pretty fascinating and, honestly, slightly amusing fates for them. Queen Elizabeth II's beloved corgis at Buckingham Palace would suddenly have to fend for themselves, while zebras escaping from the private zoo at Hearst Castle in California would actually survive and establish completely wild herds for generations. The line between domestic and wild just vanishes overnight. This sparks a massive, unchecked ecological shift. Without us managing borders, invasive species take over completely. Burmese pythons spread out of control. We see this stark survival contrast, where wild turkeys continue to thrive, while heavily bred domestic turkeys really struggle to make it. Asian carp just slip past failing human-made barriers to totally invade the Great Lakes. And snow monkeys escape the Central Park Zoo, literally taking up residence in the collapsing skyscrapers of New York's Billionaires Row. Section 4. Visualizing a world without us. It is a terrifying yet majestic vision of the future. But how did they actually bring this to the screen? Well, when the original 2-hour Life After People documentary aired on the History Channel in January 2008, it pulled in a staggering 5.4 million viewers. To put that into perspective, at the time, it was literally the most watched program ever on the network. People were absolutely captivated by this concept. And that massive success instantly spawned a regular television series. Season 1 premiered in 2009, followed quickly by Season 2 in 2010. But then, kind of ironically, much like the humans in the show, the franchise just vanished. It went on a 15-year hiatus before suddenly returning for a massive Season 3 revival in the summer of 2025. Now, during that 15-year gap, the technology used to visualize the end of the world evolved dramatically. Back in Seasons 1 and 2, the decay was depicted using traditional CGI dramatizations, which mostly showed isolated moments of decay. But for the 2025 revival, the production took a huge, somewhat controversial leap, using AI-generated video models to visualize destruction on a scale that was previously impossible. Executive producer Yashi Stone explained the rationale behind this shift, noting that AI technology helped the production team react much more quickly and really expand our visual horizons at a lower cost. Instead of being limited to painstakingly rendering just a single city block or one crumbling casino, the AI allowed them to generate vast, sweeping shots showing the simultaneous destruction of entire cities, like Las Vegas completely swallowed by sand and fire. Section 5. The show's enduring legacy. So the crucial point is this: Life After People isn't just some disaster show. Whether visualized through traditional CGI or cutting-edge AI, it's a deeply humbling look at our place in the world. It strips away our monuments, our art, and our technology, serving as a stark reminder of the impermanence of human achievement. At the same time, it's a beautiful testament to the absolute resilience of nature, which will patiently wait to reclaim every single inch of concrete we've ever poured. I want to leave you with a thought to really chew on today. Take a second and look around the room you're sitting in, or just look out your window. What would your own home, your own street, your own city look like a century after humans are gone? What's going to crumble first, and what will nature reclaim? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.